Okay, so this was on our last check-in in December. So if you are somebody that is relatively new to the program, you've not had to do a progress report yet. So this will just already be on there. It won't be new to you. But I think as I've reviewed some progress reports, I feel like this has been helpful, especially for our folks that are doing health education and outreach, adding that event piece that you can feel like it's not as specific as the serving new people and serving returning people. So just wanted to leave it in there in case anybody had questions about it. But I think you all are doing great with it. I think it's capturing a little bit more information from some of you all that maybe felt like you didn't need to add some people to that meaningful connection piece. So again, if you are relatively new and you've not had to do a progress report yet, just kind of ignore this because I'll go over progress report with you, or it'll just already be in here, so it won't feel weird to you. Any questions about the progress report since this has been in there for the last couple of progress reports that you've submitted? And obviously holidays have happened, so I know that the last couple of progress reports have been a little bit light, which I would have expected. Okay, and feel free to type into the chat at any time. Um, MLK Day of service is coming up quickly. After the holidays, time starts to move a little faster. So I think I've heard from most everybody. I am going to reach out to just a couple folks after our call today to see what your plans are, or to confirm. But just a reminder that this doesn't have to be an all-day activity. It is just an AmeriCorps required participation day. So your health department will be closed, but we have to do some type of service on that day. So I don't expect it to be an all-day service unless that's just something that you want to do. The day of whatever activity you are doing, if you will take a picture and send that picture, either text it to me to my cell phone, not the work number, or email it to me, whatever is easier. And that's pretty much all you have to do. You don't have to do a report or anything. Um, MLK Day, I feel like, is notorious for always having bad weather, whether it's snow or ice or super cold. So if whatever activity you're doing requires some kind of travel, then and you can't go, make sure that you're safe first. So if you need to postpone whatever you're doing, just reach out to me and let me know that you can't get to wherever you were going to go. We can always reschedule something. Just make sure that you're safe first. Any questions, or does anybody need to update me right now on what their MLK Day of Service activity is? Okay. Several of you have started to schedule. I know, Latoya, it seems like Lexington always has bad weather for sure. Um, one-on-one check-ins. So we haven't, I think the last time I did a one-on-one check-in with everybody was back in maybe September, October. So I hoped to do these monthly, and it just really it was too much to try to schedule. So this is the first time in a couple of months that I've asked you all to schedule. So you choose the time, you choose the day, just as long as it's in January. So the link that's on this form on this agenda is the same link that's in my email signature. So it coordinates with my calendar. So if it's whatever's showing up there is what I'm also available. So I just want to check in with you, see how things are going, make sure your time is okay, like your weekly hours are looking okay. I know everybody had a couple of weeks that were a little bit low because of the holidays. That's fine. Just see if you've got any questions, if there's anything going on at your site that I should be aware of. And then if I haven't been to your site yet for a site visit, we'll talk about getting that scheduled if it's not already scheduled. So just make sure that you get that um, scheduled because It's already the 7th of January, so January is going to fly by before we know it. And if you haven't scheduled it, then I'll start to reach out to you to either schedule it myself or just keep reminding you to get it scheduled. Any questions about the one-on-one check-ins? Okay. Mid-year evaluations. So this is an AmeriCorps program requirement. We have to have these evaluations in your file. If you are somebody who started service before December 1st and you are a 1200 or a 900 hour member, you have to have two evaluations in your file. So you will see that this form in your America Learns account. So I have completed your form for everybody. I've done my portion, and then your direct supervisor there at the health department has to do their portion before you can sign it. So I've asked your supervisors to complete their portion, and then once they complete it, it will come to you, and um, then basically you sign it. If you want to add anything, you can. There's a portion for you to add it, and just your thoughts, reactions, 2 cents, whatever you want to do. You don't have to. If you just want to sign it and date it, that's fine. But we just have to have that form on record for your file. Any questions about the mid-year evaluation? And then we'll do an end-of-year evaluation. Everybody will get an end-of-year evaluation. So if you're a 450-hour member, you'll get added in at the end of the year. Any questions about the mid-year evaluation? Okay, W-2s. They are getting sent to you this week, so we've received those. If you did any hours, if you received a check from us in 2025, you will receive a W-2. These are hard, obviously they're paper W-2s. So they're going to get sent to your house. If you for some reason don't get it, please let me know. We know that hopefully with the holidays being over, the mail will run a little bit smoother, a little bit quicker. But if you're not receiving these by the end of next week, just let me know. They'll go to your home, not your health department. And then here's my little speech about taxes and filing them. Please don't pay to file your taxes. There are should be multiple ways to file your taxes for free. I think that everybody here qualifies to file your taxes for free. The tax filing season doesn't open until the end of January, so that's when you can file them for free. There are lots of tax filing places that say we can file your taxes now and you get your money immediately, but you end up losing money that is meant for you to come back to you. So you lose money up front so that you can get it quicker. Please don't do that. You get more money. I know that it's tempting because you get it sooner, but I just don't want you to lose money that's available to you that is your money to have to come back to you. Um, I've added some sites here. IRS.gov is how you can file your federal taxes for free. The state, you go into the state website. Kentucky, I think it's revenue. I think I've messed that up, but like it's ky.revenue.gov. Reach out to me if you are having a hard time doing it. I will walk you through it. I used to do taxes for an organization that I worked for several years ago. Things have changed a little bit, but I can always help you do this if you want help. United Way oftentimes will do um, like in-person tax filing, or they'll have you like drop them off if you're in some of the denser populated areas of the state. I I might not be familiar with every local agency or nonprofit in your area. If you know of places, drop them in the chat. Let me know and I'll share them out. I don't know of every place in the state that does them, but please just don't pay somebody to do your taxes when you can file them for free and get all of your money back. Any questions, any thoughts about taxes? Because I can talk about these for a long time, and I know you don't want to hear me talk about that. Okay, nobody's going to pay to file their taxes. Thank you. I'm so glad your silence means that you agree with me. I'm happy to hear that. Okay. The meat of today is CHW certification application. And I wanted I want to give a shout out to Savannah because she made me aware of an email that went out that I didn't actually receive about the application process changing. So it used to be done in the red cap form and or red cap software, and it is changing. So I am thankful for Katie, Lauren, and Latoya being here to talk about their experience. But it might be a little different for you all that are new, that are going through the CHW training and new application process. So um, I'm gonna turn it over to Katie, Lauren, and Latoya, and then I'm gonna come back and maybe and talk about what I would expect you all that might be a little bit different as that application software is changing as we move into 2026. So I'm just going to turn over Katie, Lauren, and Latoya if you want to talk about what your experience was like with the application process, any hiccups you had, and maybe what you wish you knew um, before that you learned in the process that you might pass on to folks.
Okay, well, I'll go ahead and get started. Pretty much with the CHW process for me, once I was informed on everything that was needed, I pretty much just kind of made a checklist and I went based off that checklist and made sure I had everything from my shadow hours to my reference letters. With the shadow hours, like any interactions I had with the community or clients that I was serving, and just like outreach and like health education, I jotted those things down and I put that and included that in my shadow hours as well because you are able to include that. I also did like anything around the health department that I was on with other departments as far as in the WIC and hands. I included that in my shadow hours as well. And the max shadow hours you could do was 40 hours. So I just kept total of all those hours that I did and was able to keep a track of the date, the times, and when and where I was. So I kind of made like an Excel spreadsheet and was able to submit that with my CHW application. With my reference letters, I did ask them if there was a template I could use. And then I received that template and I sent an email out to my hand supervisor and the WIC supervisor. And I included that template and asked them to include a reference letter for me. And within like a week or two, they were able to do that. And I was able to attach that to the CHW application as well. Overall, I just want to say that if you stay organized with everything, it should be a stress-free process and it should kind of flow smoothly.
For me, I felt like the process was really easy. They sent out an email, and I just basically just followed the instructions on the email, made sure that I had all my documentations. And once I got all the documents together, I just uploaded it and submitted it, and it seemed like the process was pretty smoothly. As far as like the reference letter goes, my supervisor had submitted multiple reference letters in the previous years, so they kind of already had a template to go off of, and they just basically included in the reference letter in case anyone needs help with what to include on that. Like the first paragraph was basically about me and how I'm a fantastic worker, not to toot my own horn, but and then they included how I am with clients and like another paragraph, and then they talked about like my work ethic and also my skills, and then the last paragraph was about why I would be a great CHW in their opinion. So basically, that reference letter just is anything and everything that your supervisor would like to boast about you, and that helps a lot too. But as far as like the process and everything, as long as you follow the instructions and stuff and have all your documents, it should go really smoothly.
I want to agree with both of them. It's very much organized, but for me, I'm at the health department in Western Kentucky, and we actually have a community health worker here. I know we don't need one, but I think that was very beneficial for me to have. So I worked with her a lot. We did like one-on-one check-in type things. Like, it took me 2 months to get everything all together and stuff and actually submitted. So I would say probably like every other week or so, we would like just check in and make sure. everything was going well. But she also, which I sent to Whitney, but I don't think I sent her a blank copy, which I made one. But I have a Excel sheet, kind of like what Latoya was saying, that it has like all the core competencies and then it had like hours. So I didn't obviously do all of them, but I ended up with 48 hours, which is over, but it's totally fine. You can do that. So I was gonna send Whitney a copy, and then if anyone wants it, just to, keep track of the hours and what you did exactly. And I don't know, it was really helpful for me. So I think maybe it'll help y'all if you would be interested. That's about it that I can really think of for all mine. Like they said, just organize is the biggest part of it. And then also make sure for your CEUs, keep track of those always because those are very important and you could get audited. Not to scare y'all, but that's what I was told. So just keep those track.
Awesome. Thank you all. So I'm gonna go to just to go back to like our beginning of the year training when we had our CHW experts. So they did go over, I'm not gonna play this, but I'm just gonna like scroll through what they shared with us the steps. So step one, you go over their certification manual. We know that process. So you've done that, you do the training, the fee. So we do the AmeriCorps program covers the fee, so you don't have to pay a fee. Um, so identifying your reference. So I would assume that most everybody's reference is going to be their direct supervisor there at the health department. And Lauren and Katie and Latoya have been kind enough to share their letters of reference with me. And if they are okay with it, I will send that out to you all to have as an example. And then, like Lauren said, she's going to share a blank form, but here's where I think there's a little bit of difference with what the previous application and the new application will be is with those hours, with your 40 hours. Sorry, so letter asking your mentor to do a professional reference. I felt like last year we did have a few members get a little bit hung up here, and it may have just been from the site supervisors not being sure about how the layout of the letter should have been. So I'm hopeful with the example that I'm going to share with you all from Lauren, Katie, and Latoya that might solve that problem. The picture. It doesn't have to be a professional picture. Do you all have any tips on your picture? Did you just use a picture you already had? Did you take a new picture? Any thoughts on your picture?
I just used a professional picture that I already had.
Okay.
I took a selfie and I made sure that the wall behind me was just a solid wall, so there wasn't like any kind of decor or any kind of decorations or writings or anything like that.
Okay. Lauren, any additional same? Okay. Yeah, plain background. I think we might have had one person that needed to redo a picture, but I think most part that was okay. Um, So making sure that you have all your materials, like they were saying, having your mental health first aid certificate, your mentorship hour information, and then getting your actual everything like ready to go. I think that's everything. I think, oh no, sorry, one more. Completing the application, checking for updates. So here's where it's different. Um, I'm gonna pull up, sorry, let me share my, okay, so moving to this new platform. I'm guessing that's pronounced Certimi. All right, I'm just gonna scroll down to where, let me pause. Has anybody, we've only had a few people complete CHW training. I know we've got several folks who are starting it in January. Um, I think we only have two folks on the call. Has anybody else started the CHW certification process application? I guess. If you have, you didn't have to. I'm just curious. Um, okay. Okay, here's where I think is going to be one of the changes that to me seems like a change. So it sounds like your mentor that's going to sign that will be signing off on your hours is going to verify the mentorship hours in this new system. Does that sound like a change to you folks who have already completed it? That didn't happen before, right?
I think for, oh my gosh, my voice. Anyways, sorry. I think for, I don't know if it was for our actual CHW certification or maybe it was through Elevate, but I do remember I had to fill out my community health worker, like her information out on it. It was like her, I just gave them their work email and then the work phone number, but I did have to fill out, I don't remember completely if it was for the actual CHW or if it was for Elevate, but one of them I had to put information in for.
Okay.
Sorry, that's probably not too helpful, but
That's okay. I talked to, that's interesting. Okay. I talked to somebody else and they said that they didn't think that this was,
I can try to go look at my files on my big computer once I'm done and contact you
that's okay.
about
I
it.
mean, well,
But if I
I want
say
to give everybody
anything,
the heads up that whoever is going to sign off on your 40 hours of mentorship looks like they're going to have to sign in and verify that you completed that. Should, I wouldn't expect that to be an issue. Just maybe give whoever's going to do this a heads up, that they will be doing that. I don't feel like there's anything else that's really that different. So if you hadn't started the process, then all this is going to feel fine. Yeah, and so Lena is saying she doesn't feel like that her mentor had to verify, but worked really closely with that mentor to make sure they were on the same page about reporting, which you should be doing. I mean, that's kind of a given, right? You want to make sure that you're working closely with your mentor. Um, so I don't think that there's anything else that's really different. But again, if you hadn't started the application before January, this is all going to look, it's nothing different about it anyway. If you're somebody that's going to be recertifying this year, um, you're going to have to create a new account. So for all of you folks on here that are already a certified CHW, um, I want to first make sure that you got this email. Did you all get this email? If you did, I'll forward it to you. Okay.
I don't think I got it.
Okay, I'll forward it to you. Letitia, you wouldn't have gotten it because you haven't started the process yet. So that makes sense that you didn't get it. But Cindy, I'll forward it to you. So just want to make sure that nobody misses out on when it gets time. I mean, you would go to the website and it would prompt you to do this anyway. But so let me go back to my just to show you all like what it looks like. If you were to go to the CHW website and you tried to start your application, and again, thanks to Savannah for pointing this out to me, you can't really do anything right now because they haven't finished this restart away from RedCap to Certamy. Again, I'm guessing that's how it's pronounced. So if you have any questions, at any time. Um, you can reach out to me, or when I forward this email to everybody, it has Laura's name, and Laura is one of the folks who was on our beginning of the year training. Um, and I think she's really good. So, I, I'm hopeful that, when changes happen like this, there's usually some kinks that have to get worked out. But in the end, usually it's better. Um, but are there any questions right now about CHW certification, application that you can think of? I would expect there to be questions as we get going into the application part, but is there anything right now that you all can think of? Okay. Um, so that was the last thing I had on the agenda. Is there anything that anybody else, any other topics, any other questions that anybody has? I do want to say thank you again to Latoya, Catherine, Lauren, and Alina. Thanks for popping in there with that. Thank you all for sharing your experience, and thanks for being willing to share your paperwork that you completed last year um, for everything that you've already done. That's really helpful, I think. So, anything else from anybody? Okay. Well, thank you all. I appreciate it. I hope you have a great rest of your week. And we'll see you soon.